Skibbity boop bop boop. Today is Saturday, June 29th. My laptop has 11% battery life. Let's see, is that true? Yep, 11% battery life, so it might shut off in the middle of this recording. Oh, low battery. Your Mac will sleep soon unless plugged into a power outlet. Called it. All right, it's plugged into a power outlet, and now we can get an even worse camera angle for my ugly face, because I'm a loser. Remember that song by Beck, I think it was? I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? I never liked that song, but certified loser right here. Flexing. Not only do I have $0 in my bank account, I am indebted to my parents $50,000, more than $50,000 over the last 2 years, as they've been keeping this corpse alive right here. They've been keeping this corpse alive. Isn't that great? We have children and then sometimes things go wrong. Such a life that we lead. So good, right, guys? So good. So good. Still alive, right? Just like Rocky. I wanted to be a kung fu master or a boxer or something like that, but that's not the body type I got. I used to get picked on and bullied when I was a kid. I was the shortest, and skinniest kid in the school, in the entire school. Well, at least among the boys. I don't know. I wasn't really comparing my body to the girls' bodies, because the boys were the ones who were fighting me, and so in my mind, I thought I'm really strong and I can take all of these guys, no problem. And in reality, I would push my body up against theirs and they would just easily crush me, right? But because of my wiggliness or wobbliness, I could always wriggle out and escape, right? So they could never actually lock me down. They would try to choke me, but they could never really get me. Somehow I always escaped. So that's my life, right? Is just being attacked, being bullied, and running away and escaping and pretending and masking and hiding, and just what a fun ride it's been. You know what I mean? I don't know, those of you out there who've had that experience, but people are assholes, kids are certainly assholes, and animals are not assholes, but it's just the law of nature, competition, scarcity, and survival of the fittest. Might makes right. We'll just keep doing it. Sorry. I noticed something now since I've gotten older. I don't know. They're like there's no one knows really what's wrong with me. I do know that I've had really stretchy skin, and there's reasons you can have really stretchy skin, but I've had this for like a long time, and also it's just called getting old. But my skin gets old faster than some people's skin. So this skin has been drooping a lot in the last couple of years. So now when I try to smile, which I've always hated my smile anyway, sometimes it's like if I try to do a fake smile, it's like this part of the lip just like stays down there. And I can't even tell you aesthetically how much. Anyway, these are not the things that I should be focusing on. So yes. So I can, yeah, it is what it is. This is not the focus. Not like anyone has ever made fun of my lip or my smile or anything like that. So that really that's not what I should be focusing on. All right. Self-hatred. Anyways, I was saying I'm a loser, right? So I'm a loser because I have no money because I'm disabled, right? Disabled. What a word is that? Disabled. And I have not been able to work for 2 years. Which, let me tell you something. Anyone out there, for any of you conservatives out there watching this video, or I guess maybe this applies to everyone, but I've heard this only from political conservatives, is like, get a job. You're, not to me, but just to people, you're lazy. Oh, these immigrants, they're just coming into the country and they're lazy. Or, oh, this person, they're disabled. Well, they should just put their mind to it and work harder. They're not really trying, or all this stuff. It's maddeningly stupid to think that a human being who is born into the world would want to not contribute to that world. would want to sit there and let other people do everything while, I mean, I'm just speaking from my own perspective. The idea of sitting around while everyone else does work and I benefit off that work is so, like, it's so contrary to what it feels like to be human. To be human means I want to be creative. I want to be part of this. I want to be part of this. I want to make and create and do and build. And where do we get this idea that, I think, okay, yeah, so you rise to the top of a company, you're a CEO, and now all of a sudden you're sucking up all the power from all these people and employees, making crap loads of money, and you're not really doing anything anymore. Oh, but it's so hard because you have so much responsibility. Yes, fine, yes. And at the same time, no, like, power does not need to be distributed in that way. Everyone has an equal amount, not everyone is the same amount of smart. Not everyone is the same amount of strong. Not everyone is the same. You know, these differences are real and should be accepted and acknowledged, that we're all unique and different. And we also all have the same amount of, if you want, not, you can't measure it, we all have the inner dignity of aliveness, and we all have the heart-centered, you know, the yearning to be here. And with our desire, with our yearning to be here, comes a desire to cherish and protect life. And I think in all forms, but honestly, I was just reading yesterday, okay, well, the war in Russia, 1,000 Russians are dying, and these are Russian children, basically, I mean, young men, are dying per day, 30,000 people per month. And they're recruiting 25 to 30,000 more people for this war every month. So 30,000 in, 30,000 out, and they're calling it the meat grinder, right? So when faced with that kind of a reality, we can't really open our hearts. Oh, no, this is not what we're doing, Mac. Sorry, that was not a thumbs up. Okay, well, maybe we can open our hearts. I mean, 4th of July, hooray, I guess, to the suffering of all of that, you know. The surrealness of a whole person with their entire life and all their experience just being thrown into this fight for who knows what. Is it really resources? Is it, you know, is that the fundamental basic reality? That's the question. Is there really not enough for everyone? And I really don't think that's true. I think that is a huge, somehow, misunderstanding. Maybe we did the math wrong. Maybe some people might look at it from the point of view of greed and just we're inherently greedy. You know, it's a big picture, religion or economics or whatever lens you use to. But I've lived a life of poverty for a long time. I've lived a life of simplicity, and I can tell you on a personal note, you don't need that much to live and to, like, be happy, right? In terms of material possessions that you would need to work really hard, make a lot of money, and buy, right? Oh, well, that keeps the economy going. So, okay, here's the thing, is like, is there not, again, it's a very complex issue. Like, how do we really know if people aren't being honest, right? If we're not willing to, my brain is now spiraling out into politics and thinking about different forms of government and, you know, how, I don't even know any about this. I'm not a scholar. I'm not an academic. I've never even read a book about socialism or communism or democracy or any oligarchy or monarchy. You know, we've tried a lot, is my point. We've tried a lot of ways of solving this issue of trying to give people the opportunity to have a good quality of life. And, like, Yeah, we can't do it by destroying our planet. Yeah, we can't do it by decimating all of the other species on the planet. Like, the problem, this is my idea of the problem is this, is that all life is equally deserving of its existence. And we are one part of this really complex ecosystem. And what are we supposed to do? Right? They've tried population control, saying, oh, well, or you can only have so many children. Now the problem is that people want to have children, but they can't. Well, we're biologically programmed to reproduce and expand and take over the universe. Whatever it is, this is, I'm sure there are actual smart people who've thought about and written books about this. And excuse me for a second. I wish that I had like one iota of intelligence in my brain that I could actually be a participant in this conversation, or not only that, but like actually do something, or not only that, but just solve it. Not that, and then it gets into the fact of like, is it a problem? Like, is it a problem, or do we just need to accept it always? Yeah, sure, okay. There goes another 1,000 Russians. Dead, 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 dead. And just, okay, like when I think about that, my response is to, I'm not gonna, like, I'm distancing myself from that. It's just too surreal. It's just too bizarre. And I think that if you're let's say you're in the Russian army and you're responsible for those people at different levels in that hierarchy, like the higher up you are, the more distance and more removed you are from it, and the less you're going to feel about it, I would think, because you just can't care. You just can't care. I imagine that to some people, it's just looking at a game. They're not opening their hearts, I don't think. I think they're looking at it like a game and aligning themselves with this country, and this is me, and we're just doing it for the greater good, which, like, I guess that's one of the questions is there is no greater good if you're dividing yourself. Like, there is no greater good than the good of the whole universe and the balance of energy and the cosmos, whatever you want to call it. And we're trying to look at it from this smaller section of my tribe, and we want us to be good. And if we were to continue going down this track and then expanding into space and colonizing planets and all those, like, you would hope to maybe have some sort of evolution or meet some kind of advanced other species who can explain to us, like, hey guys, actually there's so much energy in the universe that you wouldn't even know what to do with it, and you don't need to be fighting on this tiny little planet anymore, this tiny little rock over like a bunch of old rocks and fossils that are way deep in the ground. Like, that there's actually like abundant energy everywhere. And if we just act in accordance, in balance with total harmony of, like, what it's a sort of utopian thing where we would do the right thing at the right time, and we would have the right number of human children at the right time so that there weren't too many or too few, and there would be some sort of kumbaya harmony with all the different species. And that isn't what the scientific understanding of life has been, as opposed to survivalism and evolutionary theory as put forth by Darwin. That's like the one that we really latched on to, survival of the fittest, and adaptation and competition, and it's just like, what a drag. Are there other options? So here's the thing, is like, we're all wrapped up in this whole storyline, or at least I am. Are there other, excuse me for a moment. This is what I'm talking about, right? So it is so hard to be human. At least I'm trying to talk about this, and I'm trying to cook breakfast on the stove at the same time. And you make one slip up and you've ruined it. You make one little mistake, one lapse of judgment, and you've ruined it. And wasted energy. Wasted. And so on and so forth. Oops. And when I'm out there interacting with, I'm not killing people, that's not my thing. I'm not in that arena. But even when I'm just out there interacting with little creatures and bugs and things, birds and different things, sometimes, oops, oh, so this thing happened. Oops, I killed this one. It just, anyway, what can you do? There's this religion, Jainism, where they would, what was it? They would like never kill a bug, and they would sweep the path in front of them very gently, make sure there's no bugs in the way, so they're stepping, so they never kill anything. That's such a nice thought. What is it that I'm even talking about? Am I just having a hard time coping with? I think I'm just having a hard time. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just want that. I just want everyone to get along, right? I want everyone to get along. Why? Is it like it hurts me when mommy and daddy fight? Is that the thing? Like, I think that's like, anyway. It's. I don't know. It's something. There's something in this that's really, standing like that that's hurting me. Something in this that's like really uncomfortable and really sad. It's really sad. It's so, like, that's the thing. You open your heart to all of the conflict that's going on, and you can't do that. It's overwhelming. So, but we have to do that, don't we? As a way of moving forward, like, we can't just keep closing our hearts to all the suffering in the world and only caring about ourselves and those closest to us, right? And I wonder if on some level everyone is already doing that, and on some level I'm not aware of it. Like, the whole world is in some sort of kumbaya, like, interconnectivity, and you guys all out there are like, all in love and harmony and communication and understanding, and everyone's supporting each other in this beautiful network of, we're all doing the best we can, and we're changing, growing, and evolving. And I, as the individual here, am just slow, and people are waiting for me. I've had that feeling many times where I'm just really, and I know that's not that, anyway, I'm sure some people can relate to this, right? Like, you're way behind everyone else is like more advanced than you, and you're just stuck in this really regressed state of learning. Modern day people might start to call that like trauma, complex PTSD, developmental trauma, and things like that. And when you hear about those kinds of things, you wonder, okay, well, how much, am I way more traumatized than most people, and that's the problem? And yet, when I talk to people, it doesn't seem that way. When I talk to people, seems like we're all in the same mess together. And it seems like I'm able to communicate well enough that people understand what I'm saying. And yeah, is this even worth talking about? Because some people will then take the route of, oh, that's just life. Just get on with it. You're just thinking too much. Just live your life and deal with what comes up in the moment. Don't even worry about it. And it's like, yes, and, yes, and, yes, and. And, don't think about the past. Yes, right. Some people will say, well, history will repeat itself and we need to learn from that. And others will say, yeah, don't think about the past. Just move forward. Just move forward. Some people say if you just look forward and don't look back, you're just going to keep stumbling over the same place over and over again. And I don't know. And this is where you think just dose everyone with LSD or mushrooms or something like that, because expanding your mind and seeing so much more, and then being able to have a better context for where you exist in the cosmos and like what's possible. This is just where I'm at 7 a.m. when I wake up. So it's messed up too, because I've gotten this feedback my whole life, and even to this day, like in the last month or two, I've heard it several times, just out of nowhere. People will say, in conversation to me that I'm smart, or you're really smart, or you're so smart. It's like, I'm like, I am so stupid. I don't understand what's happening. I'm so behind the curve. There are so many people that are probably actually really smart in their fields or just in general. I don't feel like I'm one of those people. Excuse me for a second. Like, I haven't read a book in 10 years. I don't really watch the news, read the news. I don't actually like, I feel like I have no more social life. I haven't had a social life in years. I don't work anymore. And I'm not able to, and my body is on all this kinds of crippling pain, and like I'm just dealing with that. I'm like, oh, ow, ow, oh God, ow, oh, I can't even do the thing. Like I'm just having such a hard time just making food for myself and like cleaning my apartment, and like it's just day after day. It's so freaking hard, and all my brain power is going towards that. So I don't like. I haven't read a book. I'm not learning things. I'm like living in a state of my certain body parts are like constantly going, and it's like seeing, if you ever see something really gruesome, like a person getting hit by a car or something, and you have that feeling in your stomach. Well, that kind of feeling is something that not in that spot, but in a different spot that I've been feeling for 2 years because of an injury. And it's like being in that kind of a acute sort of traumatic situation just constantly. Imagine like watching that, but it just goes on. It's like all day, every day for years. I've acclimated to it as best as I can, but it is so, it is really hard. And so there's not a whole lot of intelligence happening here. I don't know why people would say that to me. Like, I don't understand. I haven't even thought to ask, like, well, why do you think I'm smarter? Why are you saying, what does that mean? What are you trying to say? Like, is it just because I've been wondering this a lot because I keep hearing it. But what does that mean? Smart. What does that mean? Like, I think my mind is really moves a lot, and I think that maybe that makes people feel like that. Because I'm not having any good thoughts right now. I'm not having any big thoughts or complex thoughts, or I'm just talking without thinking about what I'm saying. So yeah, that's the truth. Is I'm really not thinking like, I couldn't even tell you what I've said for the last 20 minutes. So I don't think that's what actual intelligence looks like or feels like. And so I don't want to be down on myself about that. I think that I was smart at a certain point a long time ago. Perhaps you could say that. And that has to do with like curiosity and openness to learning. And I don't want to talk about it. It makes me feel sick. Let's not talk about that. Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying I'm a loser. That was what I started with. Right. So yeah. I mean, what is it? What is it? what? I said that. Oh, and then I smiled and I saw, because I'm seeing myself on the laptop screen here, and I smiled and I was like, oh, this lips and this teeth, and just hating on my appearance and all that stuff, which that's been going on for my whole life. Haven't got over it. You just acclimate to these things. You just acclimate. I mean, it's sad to see, probably. I don't know. Is it sad to see? You guys, if you're still watching this, like, what is it like watching like a train wreck, and you're just like, oh, I can't look away. Because I've noticed that. And I haven't really been feeling the whole YouTube in the last month or two. I would say I've been a little bit more disconnected from it. I was kind of sort of enjoying the process. I started in January, and it's now June. It's been 6 months. That's like a pretty long commitment. And yeah, the last couple months, I haven't really felt it, but I just keep going because, hey, why not? I don't have anything else going for me right now. And, but the fact that, so enough people have been watching me that I'm wondering, like, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just doing this for me and sharing it. And if if people are interested for any reason, I guess it doesn't even matter what the reason is necessarily. Could be, you know, I know. What is it? What is it that I'm looking for here? Like love, validation, kind of like connection, or not to feel alone, or I don't know. I don't know if I can get that from standing in a room talking to myself, like, because to me that feels like a physical thing, that's a human thing, that's a body thing, and like when a person like pats you on the shoulder, you know, that feels, you know, person like grabs you, holds your arm, or you know, it gives you a hug. That feels like connection. That feels. I mean, let's put it this way. If I've had no human physical contact, really, more or less in any normal sense, for a couple of years, on just, you know, the doctors or the scientists might say, oh, there's no oxytocin, or there's no dopamine, or there's no, you know, the neurotransmitters are low. However you want to phrase it, can't be healthy, right? It can't be good. I never thought that was healthy, but some people, I don't know. I don't want to say things that are so. I would say that it's unnatural or unhealthy for any person to be in isolation, and yet why are we going in that direction though? We're going in this direction of like technology, the internet, virtual reality. Everything is becoming more this, you know, and this can affect you, and we can affect each other in this way. You're on the phone, you're on FaceTime, you're Zooming, you know, whatever it is. You're feeling stuff in your body at a distance, you know, and is that where we're going? Is that largely where we're going? You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just so far removed. Maybe most people are just happy and normal and having normal relationships and touching and hugging and this all the time, and whatever, you know, in whatever context it may be, playing sports or roughing around or just being friendly, and you know, I don't know. Feels like there's what is it? Am I just sad? Am I just lonely? Why though? It's not something that I'm going to get from someone else out there. Like, because is it a basic need like food? Maybe. I mean, I'm living without. I don't want. It's hard. It's really hard to say. I think it's just, and you know, there's no simple answer. I can't say, oh well, my brain is just messed up, or oh well, I'm just traumatized, you know, or I'm stupid, or I'm a loser. You know, like none of those answers are going to help the situation, because it's just really weird. I feel like really weird and complicated, holding so many different aspects of. What am I even saying? Like, what the heck am I even talking about? So many different aspects of, it's complicated. Like, and at the same time, it's like navy blue shirt, purple shirt, black shirt. I mean, yeah, infinite shades of black and gray and white, but like, we call it black. Is it complicated or is it simple? Neither. You can't even answer any questions. I'm talking to myself. You can't even answer one question. All you can do is ask questions. Why is this? Why is that? I'm making myself sick right now. I'm sorry, guys. I think part of it too is that it's like time to eat breakfast, and that's always the thing, right? That affects us so much. Have we eaten? Have we not eaten? What are we eating? And so on and so forth. Life is fucking crazy. Damn. So it's like, am I a loser? Am I not a loser? Is that how I want to start the morning? Is by saying I'm a loser? Like, maybe it's something to embrace. I have no money. I'm broke. I'm unemployed. And I'm not the only one, right? So it's not just, I mean, who cares? In that, I'm looking for justification. Well, I'm not the only one in this situation, so that must mean it's okay. But how is my okayness going to depend on whether other people have that same, like, there is no other person who is me. So got to find some sort of self-validation, right? Stamp. I'm good. I'm okay. Yes. Great job. You know, but no, not hitting yourself. But that was supposed to be a stamp. We're not just hitting ourselves. That is not the game plan. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and I hope you have a wonderful. I gotta stop with this because I'm thinking wonderful day. It's like, let's ban time and ban like calendars and space and all that stuff. Because I think that I'm really getting hung up on that. Like, because, oh, yeah, with this kind of communication, doesn't make sense because I'm recording this. I'm just going to, this is going to piss me off. I'm like, really, my brain is going, don't do it. It is Saturday, June 29th, 8:07 a.m. right now for me. I am in Massachusetts, United States. Okay. Now it's 8:08. Okay. And none of that does that have any relevance to you? Because you're not watching this from Massachusetts, 8:08 a.m. Saturday, June 29th. In fact, no one will be watching this at that time or that space coordinates because it's gone. It's in the past. It's not here anymore. So that makes me feel a little crazy. To have to exist in sort of like undifferentiated space-time where what I said a minute ago is gone, but you're watching it now. You are watching it now. But I said it. When did I say it? Did I say it now or did I say it now? Oh, that is too much for my small brain. So I just need a new way of like I have a really hard time with goodbyes. And I need a way of saying goodbye that actually makes sense. That's not like, have a nice day. Like,